here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, I will be doing an unboxing of the SOG Seal Pup. Now, there's already a whole bunch of reviews and unboxings on YouTube on the SOG Seal Pup. There are also a lot of reviews on the SOG Seal Pup Elite, but what I have not seen was really a lot of reviews on the new reworked regular SOG Seal Pup. This one has a date on the packaging of 2010, and I think it was last year that they sort of redid the SOG Seal Pup model once again. I think they've done it several times. So they've done some different things to this particular model, and I want to go over them with you. And we'll go ahead and start unboxing it. One thing really quick, here is the sheath, the way it looks in the plastic. And here is the front. And it is not made in China. It's made in Taiwan. I think the older ones might have been made in Japan, and then they sort of started making them in Taiwan. I think. Don't hold me to that. One thing really quick is there is a lifetime warranty also on here, and essentially the Seal Pup is a small version of the seal knife that our Navy SEALs use, and this knife and that SEAL's knife are used throughout the world by various armed forces. So we'll go ahead and get this open and we'll see what we got. Since we're on a SOG theme here, I'm going to go ahead and open it up with my SOGzilla, which I modified a couple of videos ago. You might have seen that. And I've been carrying this ever since. And I'll tell you, I'm very happy with the SOGzilla. For the price point, it's really incredible. Alright. So let's get that first impression of how it feels, because that first impression is everything. When you first hold that knife or hold that gun, that first impression, wow. The handle does feel very good. You can see it has some protection there on the handle to keep your hand from slipping. Let's see how it feels if you're holding it as if you're going to have to use it as a offensive or defensive type weapon. You know, because that's the best. You know, if when you're, you know, I know people get sensitive over this stuff, but you're just going to have to either bear with me or turn the video off. But when you're going to stab something, you want your hand wrapped around this thing as hard as you can. You want your thumb across the top, so that thing is not going to slip. And one of the reason why I sort of test it like this is because that there are some knives where the handle is shaped so weird that when you put your thumb across it, it just feels terrible. When you're holding it, sort of that handle reverse, it feels so weird that it just doesn't work out. So I like to test how it feels like that. I like to test how it feels with a normal grip. Now you want to hold it like that, like you're holding it tight, and you have to do something, and then the more you know, the type where you might be doing a little bit of finer work. And then I like to also hold it like when I'm opening boxes or doing some fine work, I will hold it like this. Then also another hold you want to test is put your thumb across the top, so if you're doing some fine work, you know, how does that feel? Also, this knife has almost like an additional choil there that you could choke up, even though I don't think it's meant for it, because you see how close my finger's getting to those serrations. But, you know, you can, and, you know, do some fine whittling. But again, this particular model has the serrations. You could find some models without the serrations, and if I were buying this for a long time survival, I would not have the serrations on the knife. And you know why. If you don't know why, it's because if you're doing batoning, the split wood, those serrations are not going to last very long. And I want to be able to baton with my long-term survival knife. But I would also want a larger knife for long-term survival too. Now, on the blade itself, it does say Taiwan. And on this side, you can see SOG's logo. This has a powder coating on it. The handle is made of glass reinforced nylon or GRN or GFN? GRN, glass reinforced nylon. You know, some versions are made with Zytel, but this one is, you know, this is just the Seal Pup. It's not the Elite. But it's a hard plastic. Has a generous hole there for a lanyard. 550 cord would have no problem fitting through that. So, as you can see, SOG has this, you know, dual kind of spine there that's kind of cool, clip point. And this particular one is a combo blade. You can see how far back. It's not exactly half, but it's almost half. Now, the older version of this knife had even more of the blade that did not have serrations or anything. You can see how there's nothing here. It's like a finger choil. But the old version, you know, the blade didn't start till all the way up here, and what a waste. And I want to show you what that old one looked like. I'm going to see that. Now look at the difference in the way that that part of the blade looks compared to the older version of the SOG Seal Pup. Now, this is where I'm kind of upset and why it's taking me so long to get this video done. If you look at these specifications, the blade length is still the same. It's 4 and 3/4. I'm sorry, 4 and 3/4 inches long, and the overall length of the knife is 9 inches, 5.8 ounces, partially serrated. And see this? It says AUS6. Well, the video on this same page, if I were to scroll down just a little bit and watch this video, which comes from SOG, they say it's AUS8. And they're showing the newer version here in the picture. So what I'm suspecting is that the older version was AUS6, the newer version is AUS8, but I'm not sure until I contact SOG. So I'm going to call them tomorrow. Now the difference between the steels is one on the HRC, Hardware Roughness scale. There, you know, it's about a 1 point difference in hardness. AUS6 is not very good. AUS8 is better. And again, handle is GRN, powder coated, and it has a nylon. This comes on a nylon sheet, but you can still get the old Kydex sheet still too, and it's made in Taiwan. And the price here, they're saying it's $98. I did not pay $98 for this. I paid about 60 or 70 bucks for it. So what I'm probably going to do is at the end of this video is going to take me 2 days to do, and hopefully at the end of the video I can tell you for sure, hopefully, what type of steel. So the next thing I want to show you is the sheath. Now the sheath is really cool because you have a button here, and that button allows you to pull this strap out, as you can see, and that strap you could put under any one of these other straps and then rebutton it so you could adjust the width of, you know, what belt or webbing you're going to put this on. But again, you want to make sure that this goes under that last one, because if you just button it here, you're going to easily unbutton it. So you want to make sure it gets under at least this last strap before you button it down. Now, this is very well made. I want to show you something. See that double stitching? See the reinforcement with the rivets right here? And you have some holes here for maybe some additional cord to tie this down somewhere. This is a well-made sheath. Also, the nylon's like a ballistic nylon, really tough stuff. This strap, you know, it's made out of that same tough stuff. It has a button and Velcro. I mean, really tough, well-made sheath. Additionally, when you put this in here, it's very tight, but there's like a plastic liner in there to keep you from ripping your sheath, and it's, you know, in there really good. Now let me compare this to something else I recently reviewed. I have it here somewhere. This is our Bear Grylls knife, maybe about $10 cheaper. And let's look at the sheath for this knife. First of all, cheap, stretchy thing here, and the you can see on it's weird, on this side there's a single stitch, just single. Now on the other side, no, it's single stitch. It's all single stitched all the way around. Not very well made, and you can see that the quality of the nylon, it's just not as good as the tougher nylon that you get with the SOG. So, you know, they skimped out somewhere. They got it cheaper, and they really skimped out. And again, you don't have as many options with what you're going to use to strap this down with. So the sheath is much better made with the SOG Pup, Seal Pup. Now you also get an additional compartment right here that you can put a stone for sharpening. You can put a small flashlight in there. You could put another smaller knife, a folding knife, or a multi-tool in there. It will all fit in here. It's a rather large compartment. It's that big. So you could get a small multi-tool in there also. I'm pretty sure, let's see, you could definitely get like the Gerber wave in there. Did I call it a Gerber? I think the wave is Leatherman. I'm sorry. You can get a Leatherman wave in there very easily. So very well made. And I'm not sure if I showed you that these holes, they're on the top and bottom. So if you have to strap it down or tie it to your leg a little bit better, you can. So now one thing I don't know is whether this is full tang. Now obviously it's not, you know, full tang where it's coming all the way to the back, but you really don't know how far back this blade comes. They don't show it. I'm trying to look inside the lanyard hole here to see if I can actually see the metal, and I think I do. It really is hard to tell. Let's see. I'm going to, you know what? I'm gonna like stick a screwdriver down in there and see if it feels like metal. Let's see. You know, I actually think it's coming that far back. And again, there's nothing that really shows you if it is or not. Yeah. Yeah, that's plastic sounding. That's metal sounding in there. So that means that the blade is coming back at least as far back as that lanyard hole. So it appears to be almost full tang all the way to the back, even though you can't see the blade back there. But you know, that's, I'm not telling you for sure, but that's what it looks like to me. So I mean, this feels like a very solid, well-made knife. But again, you know, this is more of like a field knife or a camping knife. As far as a survival knife, I think you would go with the bigger version, the full-size version, not the pup version. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, one other thing, the texture on this handle, this GRN handle, is very good. I mean, it really gives you a very, very good grip. And get a close-up of the powder coating there. Yeah, I bought this fancy camera to get you these nice close-ups, and I'm not showing it to you. So let me show you the Taiwan. Show you the SOG logo there. And it's just a pity that they do not tell you easily what this is made of. So I'm going to go ahead and take probably about a day break before this next scene that you'll get to see in a second here, where I can maybe hopefully verify what kind of steel the new SOG Seal Pup has. Hang in there. Okay, I figured I'd make the rest of this video outside, so I'm out here with the SOG Seal Pup. I did call SOG and I asked them what the blade material was on this blade, and the lady didn't seem to really be able to answer the question too well, and she had to first she looked up the specs, and of course on the specs on the website it says AUS 6, and I said, well, the video says AUS 8, so which is it? She goes, oh, hold on a minute, and then she comes back and says, go with the specs. So if you want to go with the specs and you want to, you know, pick the crappier of the two, fine. AUS 6, it's a crappy steel. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to get the better steel, which is the AUS 8, you have to go with the Elite version. It's going to cost you at least $25 more than the standard Seal Pup version. So, with that said, we'll go ahead and do the customary paper cut. And you can see that it does come very sharp out of the box, or out of the bubble wrap, or whatever you want to call it. It comes very sharp. We'll do it slow, and we'll do it fast, no problem. I don't want to get this paper too wet. It is kind of damp out here. It did do a lot of raining. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I have a 4x4 here, and I'm going to be careful not to kill the serrations on here. I just used the part of the blade that's flat, and I'm going to go ahead and, you know, start taking some chunks out of here. You know, now AUS 6 is a soft steel, but there are some benefits. It's very stainless, more stainless than, let's say, the 1095 that you find on the K-bar. And as far as the Bear Grylls survival knife, it doesn't say what it is, so, you know, whatever. I'm thinking that it's probably, you know, 440A, I guess, would be what I would have to guess, because they ain't telling me what it is. So, you know, if I were rating the knife as far as blade steel, if they don't tell you what it is, it's crap. If it was good, they would have something to brag about, wouldn't they? Alright. I'm also going to, let's do a little bit of, get the tip in there, make sure that the tip doesn't break. Alright, looks like it's standing up to a little bit there. Now, a lot of you are going to say you don't really put your knives through a lot of things. Well, you know, it costs me money, and I'm using my own. If I were getting the knives to test from the manufacturer, I would put them through some severe hell. But I just don't have the money to do that. And, you know, these knives are going to be actually used for other things, so they need to be in good condition. So I'm trying to make sure that I hit all parts of the blade here. So, you know, I said that the K-bar was 1095. 1095 is a harder steel, however, it's not as rust resistant as the AUS 6 or the AUS 8 if you decide to go with the Elite version. Alright. Now, I would think just from that light use it shouldn't dull. So let's see. Wow. Huh. There we go. So it seems to be doing fine. It kept an edge there. But basically, if you have an AUS 6, have a sharpener close by with it. You know, it's you can get AUS 6, you can get a very good edge with it, and you could do it relatively quickly since it's a softer steel. So it'll sharpen up razor sharp very easy. Just sharpen it often, and you'll be good to go. I did want to show you the blade thickness, a comparison real quick. the Bear Grylls survival knife, and here, so here's the Bear Grylls. Here is the SOG, and you can see that the Bear Grylls is considerably thicker, but it's also considerably heavier. And let's go ahead and compare it to the K-Bar. Now the K-Bar, of course, is considerably, I wanted to take a look at this, is considerably larger knife. However, the thickness is much closer. The K-Bar is actually thinner than that Bear Grylls. So here's the Seal Pup, here's the K-Bar. So the thickness is much closer. As a matter of fact, it looks, the K-Bar only looks a tiny bit thicker. And just for fair comparison here, you could see that the Bear Grylls looks a little bit thicker than the K-Bar. But again, when I hold these two, the Bear Grylls feels heavier. So this is a heavy knife. This is my choice for a survival knife, by the way. K-Bar, good old marine fighting knife. Now they do have the kind with the plastic, which I would go with over the leather, since the leather, doesn't hold up to weather as well as, your plastic type handles. But K-Bar, this is the knife. You use that pommel, everything. It's a great knife. It's been around for a long time. It's proven since World War II. Okay. So really, that's my view of this Taiwanese-made SOG Seal Pup. I'll give it a, it's very light. So carrying it around and everything, you're not going to feel like you're bogged down with it. So if you're into light stuff, this is definitely a good choice. And I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And I'll tell you why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Because for the price point, which is $59, you should be getting OS 8. I think it's that important. They're putting some crappy steel in this blade, and they need to improve it greatly by not making you pay $25 more for OS 8 steel. So take it for what it is. Again, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I appreciate, I'm going to try to say, not say user, I appreciate friends, viewers, and subscribers, and have a great evening.